began to feel my eyes as I heard Jason begin to walk down the stairs. Every step he took made the stairs creak, and after a while, this large figure was standing over me again. I didn't want him to do this, you know. His calm demeanor had now returned as he stood over both of us. He spoke slowly as if trying to teach us something. You two are like family to me. I love you guys. I really do. But I don't think this is going to be possible anymore. Living with other people might be more of a problem than I thought. He began to pace the living room as his calmness suddenly changed into something else as he proceeded to talking to himself. No, I can't kill them. He turned suddenly as if responding to himself and said, but you must know they're a problem now, Jason. I simply watched in horror as I saw Jason for what he truly was now. An insane person. He stopped suddenly and stared at me as he calmly uttered the words, I'm sorry. He began to walk towards me again, and before I could plead with him for my life, we were interrupted by the sound of the doorbell. Jason didn't seem to care about the crime scene he had just created in the living room. As he turned to me, placed a finger over his lips, and said, she failed, before simply walking over to the door and opening it. My heart was instantly filled with relief as I saw the 3 police officers standing outside my door. Jason, on the other hand, didn't seem fazed as he simply let out a sigh before saying, okay, Jason, it's a body. And you want the rest of her? She's in the prison. It was only at this moment the cops noticed what was happening in the house. They immediately came Jason and called the paramedics who were taken to us. But as they took Jason away, he turned to me and said, goodbye, Matthew. I hope Anna's okay. In the coming weeks, the shocking discoveries that were made about Jason Strong were as follows. The plumbers we had hired to clean our drains was called the authorities. Immediately after we got home, stated we had discovered a large chunk of what seemed to be flesh stuffed in the drain. Jason did not bother denying any of the horrific crimes he committed, and the body found in the freezer was identified to be the body of an 18-year-old girl named
Hello?
who had been missing for over
Who's playing no keyboard and mouse?
The police also found in Jason's room
Who's playing no keyboard and mouse?
another girl who had been missing for 10 years at the time. In Jason's interrogation, the police were surprised by the complete lack of remorse, as Jason almost seemed eager to inform them about his numerous killings and didn't seem to care at all about the feelings of their families. Upon watching his interrogation tape, the court decided Jason was a true psychopath, and there was no sense of giving him anything other than the death penalty. As such, Jason was executed later that year on February 2008. With his last closing words being, tell my family I love them. The story is based on events for the horrific case of Adam Strong, no shower of South Virginia. Strong was arrested and tried for the murder and manslaughter of 2 females, both of whom he killed and dismembered approximately 6 years apart. The remains of both females were found after the authorities were informed by plumbers of what seemed to be flesh-like remains in Strong's home. The sales CRM that keeps you on track. Pipedrive, driving business growth.
Come together into it, right? No, and then job for your group. Get ready to roll a perfect game on our state-of-the-art lake. Then head into our action-packed arcade where the fun never stops. With Counter-Strike, Diamond Core Craftsman, the flavors to fuel your thoughts.
After investigations, Strong was sentenced to life imprisonment with no chance of parole for 25 years. Upon hearing the sentence, the courtroom applauded, as there was a common feeling that this was what the psychopath deserved.
Sen kutunu
Strong still
yorumluyor.
serves his time to this day, and will continue to pay for the crimes committed against his innocent victims.
Today, I'm still urging the net. They find a ton of creepy stories shared by citizens about stalking. Some might be personal experiences, while others may be stories of their friends or family. Today, I'm going to share with you my own stalking story. No, I did not stalk anyone in case you're wondering, but I was stalked by a person. So this started when I just completed high school. I was only 19. I was freshly out of school and did not want to rush into college like I treated. Luckily, my cousin who was a decade older than me, had just opened the fast food restaurant and wanted someone to help her out there. I was available and ready to work at her fast food restaurant. She named her restaurant SSG Restaurant. We sold the usual burgers, fries, milkshakes, sandwiches, etc. Apart from me, she had hired 2 cooks and 3 teenagers of wait staff. I and Mira often looked after the cash register and the phone. Almost 2 months after he opened, SSG Fast Food quickly became a local sensation. A lot of people, be it teens or working professionals, began to come to our restaurant and grab quick bites. Now, before I move further into the stories, let me describe myself. I was a 5'2" teen woman with super pale skin. Back then, I was heavy into gothic makeup and haircut, gothic music, and piercings. I had a tongue piercing, an eyebrow piercing, several nose and ear piercings, and enlarged ears. That was totally a phase, but I loved it. Sometime into the 3rd month, a man started visiting our restaurant. He may be working in a corporate office or a bank nearby, as they always wore a suit and tie and carried around a briefcase. My primary job was to take everyone's order, so it was a given that I had to be polite and friendly to everyone. This man always ordered something different. His order used to be complex. It felt as if he wanted us to mess them up, but I was damn good at my
Bro.
job, so his order was always perfect. He usually sat on a table opposite my counter and stared at me. I found it excessively creepy.
Mr. Adore you. Simple on it, bro.
Quite unique to look at with all my gothic glory. A lot of people took a step towards me, but rarely anyone stared so hard. Every time this man came in, a weird feeling crept up on me. But I always served him with a sweet smile and kind words. But slowly, his visits lasted longer than usual. He just sat there, sipping Coke or a milkshake, just staring at me. I told Mira about him too, but she thought it would be unfair.
Mr. Adore you. Simple on it. He really think I don't know that.
Wasn't technically done. One evening, when the rush was low, I was alone in the restaurant as we were about to close. Mira had gone to walk over to a convenience store to grab some things to take back home, while I stayed behind arranging cash register. Suddenly the phone rang and I picked up out of habit. Technically, we weren't closed, so we can always grab our go out and order. Hello, SSG Fast Food, what's your order? There was a brief silence on the other end, and then a male voice asked,
Are you the girl with the piercings and large ears?
I was baffled for a second, as no one ever called the attendants to ask about me or any of the staff. People just wanted to order food. Yes, this is her. How may I help you? I did not expect what he said next.
Are you alone in the restaurant right now?
I was in
What
fact
a petit jour.
but a wide part of my brain.
Shut up. You just mad because you died.
Sorry, sir, but we are about to close, so please tell me your order or I am hanging up.
Feisty, aren't you?
Excuse me?
Nothing.
40. 44.
What's that?
Come closer.
I had no idea what to make of it, so I just let it slide.
Come here, bro.
2 days later, when I was in alone in the restaurant, and Mira was running some errands, the same caller called back. But this
Yeah.
time, I was in the back storeroom, sorting out things. I rushed to pick up the call. Hello, SSG Fast Food, what's your order?
Are you the girl with the piercings and large ears?
Yes. Are you ready to order now, sir?
How about some time in the back store with you? Can I order that?
I was stunned into silence. No one had spoken to me that way before.
I know you're in the back room, bent over the table, sorting things out. Would you mind if I join you, goth girl?
Instead of answering the man, I ended the call and called Mira instead. I told her about the phone call and begged her to get back soon. Meanwhile, I
Knock up.
front line door and waited for Mira to get back. The phone rang a couple times after
No,
that,
bro.
but I did not dare to pick it up. I knew that whoever this man was, he was definitely in the vicinity and was possibly watching me. Mira arrived shortly and the phone rang up.
Bill, come on.
This time instead of me, she
Boom.
picked up the call.
Boom.
Before she
Bro.
could utter a word, the man must have spoken.
I gotta kill
His face turned extremely worried and then outright scared.
him. Do gay stuff.
And quickly rushed with me towards the car. We barely locked up the restaurant and she drove me home instead of letting me take my car. And throughout the ride, I kept asking her what that man said to her, that it drained the color off her face. The next day, Mira picked me up from work, then brought me a taser and pepper spray, and added an app on my phone that sends SOS messages, and I'm in distress. All she had to say was that creepy man was talking to me. Mira was checking on me every 5 minutes, and it was getting on my nerves. The afternoon rolled, and I was extremely tired, and luckily there weren't many customers. I just wanted to call it a day and go home to my bed. Hey Mira, do you mind if I go home a bit early? I'm just tired and want to take a nap. Jennifer at the cash register covered for me. But before Mira could reply, I started walking towards the door. I had parked my car right in front of the door so I could see it. Sometimes I forget to lock my car, as it's right in front of me all day. But that day, before I take a step out of the door to get into my car, I see a...
Shut up, you gay. Are you gay? Get out of my face, bro.
I immediately recognized the man and ran inside to call for Mira. I told her what I had seen, and she asked me to stay inside and call the time. A couple of minutes later,
Bro, hold up. You steady coming.
and some of the cops are hauling the fat man's ass out of my car. The moment he notices me, he is glaring at me, his eyes throwing daggers in my direction.
You bitch. All I wanted to do was have a good time with you. And you throw me to the cops.
But before he could see more, a cop slammed him on the hood of my car and cuffed him. And they checked his briefcase. It was filled with my photos, which he had taken without me noticing somewhere from here at work. But some were very personal and intimate to them. This means this bad man had been stalking me for days. God knows, even for weeks. But those photos weren't the most disturbing things in there. There was a rag, a bottle of chloroform, a pair of handcuffs, and a gun. The cops arrested him, and I was assured that he would be behind bars for years. But who knows what he would have done to me. I got into the car.
When this time of year comes around, I always have get-togethers and parties with my friends where we celebrate this spooky date. I must admit, this is one of my favorite holidays, although it wasn't always that way. When I was a kid, I never wanted to go to any Halloween party, and I didn't go out trick-or-treating with my friends. I just stayed home and watched horror movies. I was very scared, so I don't remember why I watched them so much. I was happy with this lifestyle, until something happened, and I never wanted to spend Halloween at home again. That day I was at home on Halloween night. I was babysitting my younger brother while my parents took my other brother with his friends to a Halloween party. I was already 13 years old, so I had to be left alone. Nothing had prepared me for what was coming next, though. My parents were gone, and my brother had
Just
to
about.
on the couch. I was watching Friday the 13th, the typical Halloween movie. I was kind of bored since I had seen that movie several times, and Jason wasn't a really scary villain. I was distracted looking at the ceiling until something caught my eye. Someone was tapping on the window next to me. Who could it be? The window was covered with a curtain, so I couldn't see who it was. It could be a child, but I was no fool. I knew that approaching this window at this time of night was a big mistake, especially on Halloween night when a bunch of teenagers were sure to try to scare me. I kept watching the window, ignoring the sound. But to my surprise, the sound
Wow.
continued. The banging went on. And after a few minutes, I could hear it. I decided to put on a horrible mask of terror and went to the window. When I opened the curtain, I was going to be the one to scare the person on the other side. I heard a few seconds more as someone knocked on the window and laughing in anticipation. I suddenly opened it and threw myself towards the closed window with my mask. And that's when I got my first surprise. There was no one on the other side. What? How is this possible? I opened it as soon as I heard the knocking. Suddenly, someone started ringing the doorbell like a teenager. Normally, I would think that these were just other kids asking for candy. But after what had just happened, I was scared. I slowly approached the door, inspecting from afar to make sure the key was in place. Once I was there, I pulled back the window curtain and reached out to see who was behind it. To my surprise, no one was there. When I turned around, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. There was a person with a pumpkin forehead. Even though I couldn't see his eyes, it was easy to tell that he saw me perfectly, since his head was pointing straight at me. As soon as he realized I was looking at him, the hideous man knocked on the window again, calling out to me to open it violently. In desperation, I ran to the seat and woke my brother. When he opened his eyes, I looked at the window again, and he was gone. My brother was still somewhat small and innocent, so when I told him what had happened, he didn't need any proof that what I told him was real. He was as terrified and scared as I was. My first reaction was to call the police and run away, but I didn't have time because I heard something from the kitchen. Oh no, the back door. Mom and Dad told you to lock it. I know, I forgot. Let's go, now. At this, we both started running up the stairs to lock ourselves in my room. Once we got inside, I closed the door and started to lock the furniture. We were on a locked second floor and the doors were totally blocked. There was no way anyone or anything could get in and hurt us. Had that man broken the generator? I stood getting nervous thinking about my next move. The place was really very dark. The darkness and blackness had devoured all the light in the place for total darkness. At that moment, I was calm because I knew he was probably doing this to intimidate me since there was no way he could enter the room on his own. My mischievous smile stopped instantly when I saw something walk around the room from one side to the other. This was not my brother, as his body was like this, and he was next to me. It was something bigger, much bigger. For some reason, my eyes could not adjust to the darkness, and I still could not see. Nor was it time to remove the furniture that covered the door, because the moment I did that, this strange silhouette would surely do something to me. Suddenly, someone grabbed my feet from under the bed and started pulling, trying to pull me under. I tried as hard as I could to stop him, but it was no use. The force was way too much. I could see how the hands that were pulling me were fat and black and hairy. Like under the bed, there would be a demon pulling me into the depths of hell. Instead, the pumpkin-headed man stared, his terrifying dark eyes.
Okay.
In a last attempt to get out, I kicked as hard as I could towards the pumpkin, but nothing worked. I could only watch as the thing that went under the bed kept pulling me until it got me. Suddenly, a ray of light faded the whole room. It was my parents. I looked in the direction of the door. They opened the door despite the obstacle with great ease. Maybe that door was not ready to stop me. I told them everything that happened. They told me that I was alone all night and that what I was seeing attacking me did not really exist. I tried to tell them that my brother saw everything, but they told me that I did not spend the night with my brother. They took him away. I was really alone in the house. Nervous, thinking I was going to go crazy. I sat down and let my parents tell me what they wanted to tell me. On Halloween, I suffered a drunken attack from my uncle at a Halloween party. At that time, he was supposed to keep paying my brother, but he kept drinking until he tried to beat up my brother. For interceding, I took the beating. At that moment, I was proud that I did it because if my little brother had been beaten as I have been, he might not be alive. Do you want more details of what happened that night? The man was in disguise at all times. Do you My fiance moved but my uncle was in jail. I had to be hospitalized, and although my body eventually healed, my head did not. I spent the first few days thinking I saw my uncle ready to attack me. A few moments later, I would remember everything that had happened, only to forget it all a few hours later. With time, I began to feel better. But what neither I nor my nurse knew was that being on Halloween would take me back to that night, and it would all start over again. Today, I am an adult. I would be lying to you if I said I'm completely over it. I mean, I still have some nightmares from that, and I really prefer never to leave my kids alone. I go to every Halloween party I'm invited to. I take my kids.
What? Shut up.
I was never going to be left alone on that day again. My uncle got out of jail soon after, but some offenses made the sentence get bigger.
He did that. What? Shut up.
What happened? Have fun on Halloween. Don't be afraid to do it.
Can y'all hear me?
The monster does not appear on these days, but it's with you every day. The monster is always here. It can be anyone, even a member of your family.
What?
This is based on a true story. This is a very scary incident that happened exactly a year ago on Halloween. You know how everyone is excited to celebrate Halloween, right? Now multiply that excitement tenfold because you know it's your senior year. Next year, you and many of your friends may or may not get together again. So now I'm in college celebrating Halloween with my new friends. Everywhere I go, I can't help but think about last year's Halloween. And I get the creeps. So, this is what happened. I just got my driver's license, and I didn't have my own car, so I borrowed my dad's to go to a party. I'd just broken up with my girlfriend, so I was looking forward to it. My dad was a pretty chill guy. He knew I'd need the car and had taught me to drive himself, so he